If you are new here, subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. If you like the content, appreciate it by giving it a thumbs up and sharing your views in the comments down below.
Well, here we are and we start from Parliament Weathersdon. The scenes degenerated into violence with members of Parliament exchanging blows as the controversy over the elevator left the House unable to take a vote on the issue. Your home was obliged to vote on whether or not to think about the Elevie costs under a certificate of seriousness, but the ballot process was truncated by violence on the floor, forcing the Speaker to adjourn proceedings. Here is the news desk report.
It was a free-for-all brawl by members of Parliament, hands at each other's throats, throwing punches like boxers in the ring, and ripping apart each other's shirts. This violent scene is playing out on the Speaker's days as the MPs fight over the Speaker's seat. The night had started with Parliament requiring to vote on whether or not to take the controversial e-levy under a certificate of urgency. But Speaker al-Bashir was nowhere to be found. If he did not return to his chair, then the MPP side will lose one vote, as the first Deputy Speaker, who was presiding, will not have a vote. Here is Deputy Majority Leader Afenyo Marke.
We do not know the whereabouts of Mr. Speaker. It is not for leadership to contact Mr. Speaker. It is for parliamentary service through the clerk to Parliament. The clerk to Parliament and the clerk at table have indicated that they do not know the whereabouts of Mr. Speaker. Have they reached out to him? I'm saying that they say so. That's question of whatever, you may find out from them. But for now, we do not know the whereabouts of Mr. Speaker.
Minority Chief Whip Muntaka Mubarak explains that the Speaker may have retired for medical reasons.
Let's not pretend that we in this house do not know that Speaker is going through treatment. And definitely, Speaker gets exhausted and will not be able to sit the whole day.
With Speaker al-Bashir absent and the MPP side determined to win the vote to have the e-levy considered under a certificate of urgency, First Deputy Speaker of Parliament Joe Osowusu was forced to preside, but that meant he could not cast a vote, leaving the MPP side one vote short. Without his vote, there will be a tie, and that will kill the motion. It was at this point that Joe Osowusu made the following declaration that triggered a long period of violence on the floor of Parliament.
Enough members, because we don't have a division room, I'm advised that the agreement is that we'll all file out and then the yes will come and they are counted. After that, the noes will come and they are counted. Now let me put on record that as soon as I leave the seat, I'm entitled to vote.
Joe Osowusu then got up for his second Deputy Speaker to take over. Fearing that he may be going out to actually cast his ballot, the NDC MPs charged onto the Speaker's dais to seize his seat so the second Deputy Speaker could not sit down. The MPP side charged back and the two sides clashed, and after a long break, the second Deputy Speaker returned to make the following announcement.
Honourable members, under the circumstances, we are joining the House tomorrow, 9 o'clock in the forenoon.
The showdown over the e-levy continues later this morning.
So those were the Gelly scenes from Parliament. On the other hand, a member of Parliament for Deur Nylandai Vanderpoy was seen at the center of the melee has validated the actions of the NDC side in trying to seize the Speaker's seat.
As much as I would say it's unfortunate that such a thing should happen, I think Ghanaians should put the blame on the first Deputy Speaker and the second Deputy Speaker. Our democracy and our parliamentary practice is at risk if they continue to exhibit such biased attitude. You all remember in this house when their famous rescission of Honorable Babu's decision. Honorable Osowusu then sitting in said that he was counting himself among the quorum, but then he knows he has no vote. Today, Osowusu is sitting in a chair and claiming that he still has a vote, even though he is presiding, which is in contravention of the standing orders and the Constitution of this Republic of Ghana. So we said that we will not allow him to vote. Because by sitting in the chair and presiding, he has no original vote nor casting vote.
No, by the time he was going to vote, he wasn't going to sit in the chair. He was leaving the chair and handing over the chair to the second deputy speaker of parliament. So technically, he wasn't going to vote.
Parker, when you are presiding and order the division, and the division is ongoing, then you are getting out of the chair to go and exercise your vote. Where have you found this before? Where is this? Where? It's like you presiding, a referee saying that, let me just wear the jersey of one team, play, after that I will come and continue as a referee. Have you seen some before? It doesn't make sense anywhere. And that's what we objected to. We are not going to allow Osei-Osu to turn the constitution and the standing orders around to suit his whims and caprices. It is not right, it's unconstitutional, and it's very, very reprehensible for a speaker of this house to do what he did.
You are blaming the first deputy speaker of parliament for what happened, but there are those who have said that if you disagree with him, should that lead to violence? I saw you in the midst of the action, fighting your colleagues.
We didn't fight. We were principled in the fact that this man once said that as a first deputy speaker, he wasn't a speaker. It led to confusion. Today too, he wants to arrogate to himself a vote that by sitting in the chair and presiding, he didn't have.
Should that lead to a fight?
We couldn't have allowed him to do what was wrong. You and I agree that the constitution that we all have agreed to govern us tells us that we have the right to prevent somebody from obtaining the constitution of the Republic of Ghana. And that's exactly what we did. We're not going to allow Osei-Osu to obtain the constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
No, I get a point that you're not going to allow him, but I'm asking a direct question. Should that have led to the fisticuffs we saw, the pushing each other, the exchange of...
It takes two to tango. If the other side, the majority group people, had sat down and also reserved and allow us to argue our case out, there wouldn't have been scuffle. But they decided to attack our people. They decided to prevent us from making sure we fight for our rights. And that's what led to the confusion. You saw it. They were the people who tried to prevent us from asserting our rights. There was no way any of us could have just gotten up and do what happened.
Do you regret what has happened? Particularly for you, fighting your own colleagues.
We will say that it's unfortunate, it's regrettable, yes. But then it serves a purpose. Sometimes you need to do the wrong thing for the right reason. We need to do that to save our constitution and our parliament from being used as a tool to serve somebody's interests, whims, and caprices.
But why are you a violent person, by the way?
I am not.
You're not a violent person?
But did you see anybody there as violent?
I'm just asking a question because Ghanaians who are watching Journey this evening are disappointed in members of parliament.
Why should
particularly the minority?
We were fighting for the interests of Ghanaians. We were fighting that we shall not allow such an atrocious levy to be put on the head of Ghanaians. And somebody want to use an unconstitutional means to make sure he pushes this levy through. So between us and those people who are lawless, between us and the people who want to obtain the constitution of this country, who want to set aside our standing orders and forcefully push through a killer levy, which we are resisting, between us and those people who are lawless.
Where is the Speaker of Parliament at the moment, Alban Babi?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Because there's no law in this house or in our standing orders or the Constitution that tells us that when a speaker is leaving the chair for the first deputy speaker to take over, he should announce to the whole house where he's going and what he's going to do.
But this is a crucial document of the 2022 budget. Don't you think the speaker should have been here to preside over this issue to ensure that there's calm and peace in Parliament?
Was the speaker here when Osei-Osu rescinded the speaker's decision? That fateful day, was the speaker here? Osei-Osu has proven that he doesn't need a speaker to overturn decisions that the speaker has taken. So the presence or the absence of the speaker is immaterial as far as the orders and the constitution of this country is concerned.
Following the recent happenings in the House of Parliament, during the 2022 budget debate, Some concerned Ghanaians have questioned why the police did not go into the chamber to maintain law and order and take action against members of parliament who were seen engaged in what looked to many like violent disturbances and scuffles in the chamber of parliament. The Ghana Police Service wishes to draw the attention of the general public to the fact that, by Ghana's constitutional arrangement, security issues within the Chamber of Parliament are the responsibility of the Marshal to Parliament, who takes instructions from the Clerk of Parliament on such matters. The legal position is that the police have no authority to enter the Chamber of Parliament to undertake any law enforcement venture. Any such act will be in contravention of the laws of the country. Therefore, the Marshal and his team of officers have to deal with such situations in the Chamber and thereafter refer the matter to the police for investigations and possible prosecution if the leadership of the House so decides. The police wish to assure the public that inasmuch as we are committed to our mandate of maintaining law and order in the Ghanaian society, we are also mindful not to overstep the limitations imposed on it by law. We have, however, initiated steps to engage the Clerk, Marshal, and leadership of Parliament to fashion out a more proactive way of supporting Parliament in this regard within the confines of the laws of the country. Signed by ACP Kwesi Ofori, Director General, Public Affairs.